Hi, Renee.
Hi.
It's really good to see you again.
You too.
How are you feeling since we last met last week?
Um, I'm still feeling really depressed.
Okay, I definitely understand. And we're going to continue to work on trying to work through those feelings today. So, what has you feeling so depressed?
Well, things at work really just they're not improving. Um, Everybody's getting promotions but me.
Okay,
And, it's just an unhappy place right
okay. Well, a little bit different from the past weeks, I want to work with you on something, really changing your thoughts about the specific situation at hand and what you're going through. A lot of times, our thoughts or our mindset is really negative, and then that can have an impact on the behaviors or the things that we see or feel. So I think that it would be good for us to try to work through your thought process, and if you have any negative thoughts, maybe try and change them around a little bit.
now. Okay.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
All right.
Okay, so this is called a DTR, and again, it really is just going to help us assess and work through and then rearrange what some of your thoughts are. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a whole bunch of different sections. I'm going to go through each section with you, but I want you, instead of me filling it out, I want you to fill it out so that if you're feeling, the way that you feel now at home, maybe this is a tool that you can use for yourself. Okay?
Okay.
So here you go. So in the first column here, you're going to start with the date and the time. Okay? So today is the 16th of July, and it is approximately 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So in this first section, after the date and time, I want you to talk about just a little bit. What is the situation? So you told me things at work are bad, and more specifically, that everyone has gotten a promotion except for you, right?
Right. It
So,
just seems like everything that I do is just I'm not doing anything correctly.
okay,
I'm not doing anything right at all.
all right. But so you really started feeling this way because of work?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that that was the main situation?
Yes, because everyone else is getting promoted, and it just seems like their careers are just moving forward, and mine is just stagnant. It's just stuck. Every assignment that's given to me, I just don't get it right, and so I guess that's why I'm not getting these promotions.
Okay, so let's start with the situation. So everyone else maybe at work is getting promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then were there any other situations that really bothered you?
Um, I can't really pinpoint anything else right now other than the promotions. Like
Okay.
that's the biggest thing that's been bothering me.
Okay. So in that same section, I want you to talk about, if you had any distressing situations. So, um, I know some people when they go to work at the distressing situation, they may start to feel butterflies or overwhelmed because they see everyone else progressing and they themselves are not. So, did you have any distressing feelings when this first happened?
Just feeling very anxious
Mm-hmm.
and not wanting to eat anything. Um,
Well, those are
just
more
not wanting to do anything.
okay. So, I would write that there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So now moving into this next column, this is your automatic thought. So as soon as this thing happened, when you found out that everybody else was getting a promotion, what was your instant thought or image, and how did that make you feel?
Like I'm just worthless and it makes no sense for me to be there.
Okay, so all of those feelings, write that down. So worthlessness, maybe that you didn't belong.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any other feeling right in that moment, or thought, image?
I mean, sometimes it's just feeling like I just don't want to be here at
Okay.
all. And that maybe things would just be better off if I weren't here.
Okay. So you can write those. And do you mean specifically for the job?
No, I mean in life. Like suicidal.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have suicidal feelings now?
At this moment,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like that this morning. Right now, I don't know.
Okay, so suicide is very serious. And do you feel that, or do you have means to carry this out?
I mean, sometimes when I think about it, I would just think about just taking a bunch of pills, maybe.
Okay, so this is definitely bigger than this situation. And because your life is in jeopardy, this is something that, we would have to report higher. But I will be here with you for that process. But you said you don't feel that way right now, correct?
Right.
Okay, so in working through this, um, how much do you believe each of these things?
Well, I don't believe necessarily that I don't belong there because I haven't got fired.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say um, you believe this?
Maybe like a 4.
Okay, so put that right there. And then, how, in terms of your worthless feeling, how much would you say out of 10?
Maybe like a 4 also.
Okay, so then we'll put that there. So moving forward into the next column, we have your emotions. So what emotions did you feel? Were you
Just feeling sad.
okay? So you'll write that also. Did you have any other feelings?
No, really just loneliness, maybe.
Okay.
I don't really have anybody at work to talk to about how I feel.
Okay.
So, loneliness, sadness.
Was that all you were feeling at the time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, how intense were these emotions for you?
Yeah, pretty intense. Like 8, 9.
Okay, so write that for each of them. Now, like I said to you earlier, a lot of times it's our thoughts that become really negative and really just make us think of the worst possible, you know, outcomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in this section for the adaptive response, you really talk about what cognitive distortions that you made. So, you know, what what is the worst thing that you thought would come from everyone getting a promotion and you not?
That after an evaluation, they would look at the people that were promoted and look at me as the sole person who wasn't, and that I would lose my job.
Okay, so that's big. So write that here. Was there anything else that you could really respond in that situation, the absolute worst?
If I lose my job, I can't pay my bills.
Okay.
And if I can't pay my bills, I'm not going to have any place to live.
Okay. Now, for each of these things, what was, what would the response be? So, how would you respond to those things? And then, how much do you believe your response?
Well, when I really think about it, loss of job, it hasn't happened.
Okay.
So it's likely that, I'm not going to lose my job, at least not for these reasons that I see.
So write that there.
And then as long as I'm working, obviously I'm still going to be able to pay my bills and I'll still have a place to live, so I'm not going to be homeless.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
And how much do you believe those responses?
I believe them, like 9.
Okay, great. So write those there. So now after we've gone through this and you've seen how your thought process has kind of put you into a realm where you may have been thinking a little harshly for yourself. What do you think about the situation now?
I think that having someone to talk to and talk these things out lets me see that it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Okay. Do you think this is something that you would be able to complete on your own if you were ever going through a situation like this again?
To write my thoughts down and like this,
Yes.
I could do that.
Okay. Do you feel that this was helpful?
Yes.
Why?
Because it gave me a chance to really look at the situation a little clearer and talking it out and kind of seeing it on paper makes me see that it's really not as bad.
Okay, so how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better than I did when I came in here.
Good. I'm glad. Well, we're going to stay so that we can talk a little bit more about your suicidal thoughts. But I'm glad that this helps you, okay?
Okay.
So you'll be able to take this with you, and then if you ever need help with it, you can always ask.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay.